For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. Colonel Serafimov and his meeting with a British ufologist made a sensational statement. The U.S. government has long been working with extraterrestrials. Serafimov and the scientist presented copies of secret documents showing that the first contact with extraterrestrials took place in 1954 and was even filmed. Much of this material has long been in Russia's possession and is kept in Kosmopoisk. In the presidential archives of the United States, there is a wealth of evidence that Americans are still receiving secret information from extraterrestrial civilizations, using it for the scientific and technological advancement of their country, while hiding from ordinary people even the very existence of extraterrestrial intelligence. Former American intelligence officers who were present during conversations with the extraterrestrials recall that they differed little from humans, except that they were taller and more slender. The same was true in the former USSR. They say that the first cooperation agreement with them was signed by President Eisenhower, who promised to eliminate nuclear weapons in exchange for information about some of the latest technologies. At that time, the first extraterrestrial representative appeared on Earth. But according to the Americans, there were also representatives at the same time in the USSR, India, China, and other countries with strong energy centers. No one has ever seen the treaty with the extraterrestrials, of course, but its existence is confirmed by the testimony of many agents. The extraterrestrials promised not to help the governments of other countries, but the USA and the other nations visited and initiated were required to keep secret the information about their presence on Earth. During contacts with these humanoids, it was revealed that there are many other races in the universe, but the Americans were advised not to communicate with them. The extraterrestrials taught humans how to fly their spacecraft and said they were trying to save Earth from destruction during a nuclear war. They refused to help America create weapons of mass destruction, but promised to raise its culture to the highest level. Nevertheless, less than 5 years later, representatives of other civilizations landed on the planet, who were friendlier but less conscientious. The new extraterrestrials were short in stature and pale-skinned. According to ufologists, the small aliens helped the Americans land on the moon, and with the support of governments around the world, they began to use humans for scientific experiments. It is believed that the extraterrestrials tried to crossbreed with humans to create a new type of being adapted to life on different planets. Perhaps this was due to the fact that the race of humanoids was on the verge of extinction, and if the first extraterrestrial beings negotiated with humans, making every effort to win their goodwill, Soon afterward, they began to behave quite arrogantly. Thus, according to participants in the secret negotiations, they asked to build several underground cities for themselves on Earth, and later began to place their military bases under the ocean without the knowledge of humans. The secret services were quite troubled. On the one hand, there were obvious signs of an extraterrestrial threat, but on the other, it was still possible to obtain useful information from the newcomers. For example, they taught the Americans how to create satellite communication, LCD monitors, the Internet. But in recent years, the situation seems to have slipped out of control. One after another, representatives of major agencies began lifting the veil of secrecy. The emissaries to Earth were bio-robots in 1996 in the Brazilian city of Varginha. A battle broke out between the military and the crew of a flying saucer. There were so many witnesses that the government failed to conceal the story. In 2002, one of NASA's leading associates, Michael Wolff, who was an advisor to Bill Clinton, publicly stated, "UFOs that we see are simply means of controlling human activity by extraterrestrials, and all of us are doing everything possible to conceal UFO activity from the public, explaining such cases as equipment malfunctions or human errors, but more often simply ignoring what is happening in our sky and in space."